What if I told you that you could travel to exotic destinations without the need for a passport? Believe it or not, there are US territories that offer breathtaking landscapes, rich cultural experiences, and all the adventure you could want without ever having to leave American soil. From Puerto Rico to American Samoa, these territories offer a fascinating mix of indigenous cultures, colonial heritage, and stunning natural beauty. Did you know that Puerto Rico alone attracts over 3.7 million visitors each year? Or that the Northern Mariana Islands are home to one of the world's most active volcanoes, Mount Pagan? On our journey today, I have compiled the world's most comprehensive list of 23 best places to travel without a passport. For each destination, I have included how you can get there, what documents you might need, plus realistic sites to see and activities to do during your stay. Enjoy! Number 23. Puerto Rico. Document requirements, valid government-issued ID. Of the many places to visit without a passport, Puerto Rico is among the best. The Latin American island is the largest US territory, with flights landing in San Juan daily from most major airport hubs in the United States. Once you're in Puerto Rico, the diversity of experiences is endless. Explore the distant islands of Vieques and Culebra, go surfing in Rincon, hike to historic lighthouses near Cabo Rojo, and even paddle atop bioluminescent bays, a rare phenomenon found in 3 separate locations in Puerto Rico. Other hotspots include the tropical rainforest of El Yunque, historic landmarks including El Morro, a Spanish fortification built in 1539, and many serene waterfalls hidden within the mountainous landscape. Number 22. St. Croix, US Virgin Islands. Document requirements, valid government-issued ID. Although within the US Virgin Islands, St. Croix is off on its own 45 miles south of St. Thomas and St. John. Because of this isolation, the island's communities have developed a unique cultural identity heavily reflected in the island's cuisine, music, and experiences. But let's not forget about St. Croix's incredible beauty and rich history. White sand beaches line the coast while hiking trails weave along the island's ridgeline. Buck Island Reef National Monument is an uninhabited island with one of the territory's best beaches and a dazzling coral reef. Christian State National Historic Site provides a glimpse into life in the Danish West Indies beginning in 1733. Salt River Bay is another bioluminescent bay and the landing site for Christopher Columbus during his second voyage to the New World. Number 21. Northern Mariana Islands. Document requirements, valid government-issued ID. On this list, the Northern Mariana Islands are by no means the easiest to get to. After all, they are a small string of islands in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. But if you are up to the task, they are incredibly gorgeous, with sandy shores and amazing water sports activities like scuba diving, snorkeling, kayaking, and sailing. The island is filled with friendly people and plenty of Polynesian cultural opportunities. World War II memorials are scattered along the islands as the territory once was a brutal battleground. Other natural features include hiking trails to the highest peak of Mount Tapachao, massive underwater limestone cavern known as Segrota, and plenty of marine life including friendly sea turtles and reef sharks. Number 20. St. Thomas, US Virgin Islands. Document requirements, valid government-issued ID. If you want to visit the wonderful Caribbean destination, St. Thomas might be among the most accessible places to travel without a passport from the US. United States citizens don't need a passport to visit the US Virgin Islands from the mainland. St. Thomas is the most populated and busiest island within the US Virgin Islands. The territory's capital city and largest community, Charlotte Amalie, overlooks a large protected harbor with 2 bustling cruise terminals and a large airport. You'll find plenty of activities scattered around the island, including some of the best beaches in the Virgin Islands, like the iconic Magens Bay. World-class hotels and resorts line the island's beautiful east end, and dozens of exciting boat tours depart their marinas. Number 19. Guam. Document requirements, valid government-issued ID and proof of citizenship, such as birth certificate. Guam is usually the most recognized of the 3 US territories in the Pacific Ocean. It's also the easiest to get to, with flights typically departing Honolulu, Hawaii regularly. To travel to Guam without a passport, you must be careful not to enter any other country on a connecting flight. You must depart from Honolulu. Once you have arrived, prepare to soak up the beautiful beaches along the tropical island. Outdoor lovers enjoy Guam with its many hiking trails and ocean sports activities. True Lovers Point might be the most popular tourist attraction, a cliffside terrace overlooking the glimmering Philippine Sea. Number 18. St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands. Document requirements. Valid government-issued ID. Of the three main U.S. Virgin Islands, St. John is easily the most natural and possibly the most beautiful, featuring some of the most stunning beaches in the Caribbean. The vast majority of the island is protected via Virgin Islands National Park, with an array of pristine beaches, epic hiking trails, and fascinating remnants of the Danish West Indies. The two main towns of Croix Bay and Coral Bay are starkly different. Croix Bay is one of the liveliest villages in the Caribbean, while Coral Bay is a reclusive community seemingly forgotten. The island has many options for places to stay and even more exciting things to do, like snorkeling, sailing, scuba diving, and shopping. Number 17. American Samoa. As of 2022, entry requirements for US citizens visiting American Samoa are more stringent. Yet, according to the US Department of Interior, it's still possible to enter the country without a valid passport. Possessing a government-issued ID, certified birth certificate, and a ticket for onward passage out of American Samoa within 30 days makes travel without a passport possible, albeit difficult. American Samoa is in the South Pacific between Fiji and the Cook Islands, along with the Northern Mariana Islands. It is the most challenging US territory to visit, with only 2 direct flights departing Hawaii per week. Number 16. Bermuda. Bermuda is a popular destination for closed-loop cruises, departing the northeast coast of the United States. The British overseas territory is rich in colonial history, unique architecture, and stunning natural wonders. Among them is Crystal Cave, a deep cavern glistening with stalactites and blue waters. Number 15. Dominican Republic. Cruises visiting the Dominican Republic typically stop in Santo Domingo or Punta Cana. Santo Domingo is rich in Spanish colonial history with impressive sites like Alcázar de Colón. Meanwhile, Punta Cana offers serene beaches with turquoise waters lapping the sand during a cruise stop. Number 14. British Virgin Islands. Many closed-loop cruises visiting St. Thomas and the US Virgin Islands also make a pit stop in Tortola within the British Virgin Islands. Cruises will unload in Road Town, the country's capital city, before departing on islands tours to scenic views and secluded beaches. The baths on nearby Virgin Gorda are the most popular attraction within the island chain. Number 13. The Bahamas. The Bahamas are one of the most accessible places to travel without a passport from the US. Many cruises departing Fort Lauderdale or Miami make a pit stop in Nassau before embarking further into the Caribbean. You'll even find short weekend cruises into the archipelago for a quick getaway. In the Bahamas, you'll discover beautiful coastlines lined with mangroves, white sand beaches, and colorful coral reefs close to shore. Additionally, each cruise line has its island to stop at, including Disney's Castaway Cay and Royal Caribbean's Coco Cay. Number 12. Jamaica. Jamaica has 2 cruise ports between Montego Bay and Kingston. Aboard a closed-loop cruise, travelers can enter the country without a passport and explore the mountainous landscape peppered with coffee farms and waterfalls. Ocean-based activities are also popular, like snorkeling and sailing. Number 11. Belize. Thankfully, cruise goers without a passport can still enjoy the top thing to do in Belize: scuba dive at the Blue Hole. This once-in-a-lifetime dive is reachable from Belize City, the country's principal cruise port. The mesmerizing dive site is an open-water sinkhole descending over 400 feet in the middle of a pristine coral atoll. Number 10. Costa Rica. Many closed-loop cruises leaving California's Pacific coast make their way south to Costa Rica, specifically Punta Arenas. From there, you can enter the country without a passport, gaining access to the Central American country's protected rainforests, pristine beaches, and diverse wildlife viewing opportunities. Number 9. Honduras. Closed-loop cruises departing South Florida often visit the Bay Islands of Honduras. The most famous are the popular diving destinations of Utila and Roatán. Along these islands, you'll discover dazzling sections of the Mesoamerican Reef, the world's second longest barrier reef system. Number 8. Saint Martin. Saint Martin is one of the northernmost islands in the Lesser Antilles and Windward Islands. Most famous for its pristine beaches, the island nation shares dual ownership, with one half a French territory and the other owned by the Dutch. Cruise goers will likely port in Philipsburg on the Dutch side, where they can explore cobblestone streets and enjoy duty-free shopping. Other activities include hiking, beaching. Cruise goers will likely port in Philipsburg on the Dutch side, where they can explore cobblestone streets and enjoy duty-free shopping. Other activities include hiking, beaching, and hopping aboard a boat too. Number 7. The Cayman Islands. The Cayman Islands are a string of 3 islands in the West Caribbean, one of the few tropical paradises under the UK flag. The Cayman Islands might be the most dazzling of the bunch. American citizens can visit the Cayman Islands during a closed-loop cruise. The island nation's cruise port is in Georgetown, where passengers unload to discover the pristine waters, many endangered species, and other spectacular ocean-based activities. Number 6. Turks and Caicos. South of the Bahamas is Turks and Caicos. This British territory is home to some of the clearest water in the world, with fantastic snorkeling and diving opportunities. Closed-loop cruises give American citizens a chance to enter the country without a passport and discover the secluded shores of Grand Turk. Number 5. Mexico. Mexico has many options for American citizens to visit without a passport via a closed-loop cruise with destinations like Cozumel, Cancun, Costa Maya, Cabo San Lucas, and Puerto Vallarta consistently on itineraries. Additionally, American citizens can visit Mexico by land without a passport, granting them access to other sections of the culturally vibrant country, including Mexico City and San Miguel de Allende. However, remember that you will need a passport card if you're visiting the country by car. Number 4. Canada. Similar to Mexico, admittance into Canada without a passport requires a birth certificate and passport card if traveling by land. Sometimes, people living close to or working across the border are granted special admittance. Again, this is in particular circumstances. Or you can also visit Canada aboard a closed-loop cruise which often visits the country's east coast, including Nova Scotia or Prince Edward Island. Let's not forget about the many unique places in the United States. Obviously, this list could go on forever, but these are a few of the most exotic locations below that don't require a passport. Number 3. Hawaii. As the 50th US state, a passport is not required to visit the beautiful islands of Hawaii. All you need is a government-issued ID for air travel, and you're good to go. The culture of Hawaii is markedly Polynesian, making it a unique escape from the continental USA. Hike up volcanoes on the Big Island, go surfing in Maui, or lounge on the beach on Honolulu. Hawaii has everything you'd need for a fun and exciting getaway. Number 2. Alaska. It's hard to fathom the large scale of Alaska. This state is absolutely enormous, with much of it unreachable and yet to be explored. However, with regular flights to Anchorage and many cruises visiting the likes of Juneau and Skagway, we have plenty of beauty and culture to explore. Number 1. The Florida Keys. The Florida Keys are beautiful, with crystal blue water and outstanding deep-sea fishing, scuba diving, snorkeling, and kayaking adventures. Drive the entire 100-mile length of the Overseas Highway, beginning in Key Largo and ending in Key West. Upon arrival, enjoy the historical buildings, cool drinks, and the lively atmosphere of the small pirate town.